When people say they feel like their lives are in a rut, they usually mean boring, maybe a bit monotonous. But what if your average everyday life was actually dangerous? What if the biggest threat in your life was hiding in plain sight? That's exactly what happens in today's story, but only because our protagonist doesn't notice it. So let's explore together. How can danger lurk beneath the surface of an ordinary life? Why is it sometimes hard to spot trouble when it's right under our noses? How can seemingly safe routines actually put us in harm's way? Let's find out together. I'll never forget that night. It began like any other quiet evening in Oak Ridge Hollow, our sleepy little cul-de-sac in suburban Colorado, where the biggest drama was someone putting up their Christmas lights too early or forgetting to pull in their trash bins. I was on the couch scrolling through emails. Marcy, my wife, was in the kitchen, flour dusting her apron as she baked a pie for our elderly neighbor. We were soaking in the peaceful rhythm of the evening, until a sharp, heavy knock rattled the front door. Not a neighborly knock, not a friendly knock. This one was forceful, authoritative. Confused, I opened the door and there they stood. Two men in navy blue uniforms, clipboards in hand, badges that read, Oak Ridge Hollow HOA Enforcement. My stomach twisted. Didn't have an enforcement unit, just a volunteer board and a management company. That's it. The taller man introduced himself as Officer Riek and narrowed his eyes. We need to speak with Marcy immediately. There's been a serious violation. Before I could answer, the shorter one, Officer Turner, leaned forward to peer inside like he owned the place. Unauthorized surveillance equipment, he snapped. Multiple reports. She needs to come with us. I tried to stay calm. There is no HOA security force, I said. Who authorized this? My pulse was pounding. Something was very wrong. Marcy appeared in the foyer, calmly wiping her hands on her apron. Expression was composed to composed. I recognized that look. It meant one thing. Her training had kicked in. Most of our neighbors thought Marcy was a tech consultant. They didn't know she'd spent a decade as a CIA intelligence analyst, identifying digital threats before they surfaced. She raised a single brow and said, voice like silk, "Gentlemen, I think there's been a mistake. Let's talk about this outside." But they didn't want to talk. Riek lunged forward and zip-tied her wrist. Turner stepped behind and shoved her forward. I was stunned, then furious. "Hey," I shouted, following them outside. "This is kidnapping. You have no authority." Neighbors emerged from their homes. Porch lights flicked on. Across the street, a teenager named Dylan lifted his phone and began live streaming. "Oh my God," he whispered. "They're taking her." The men barked at everyone to stay back. They shoved Marcy into a black SUV with a magnetic HOA enforcement decal slapped on the side. I noticed something. The phone number under the logo. One digit off from the real HOA, that's when it hit me. This wasn't a mistake. It was a setup. My phone buzzed. No number. I hesitated, then answered. "Mr. Ellis, this is Commander Carla Jennings with the I Rapid Response Unit. Do not be alarmed." Marcy triggered an emergency protocol. "Stall them. Agents are en route." Adrenaline surged. I moved, heart thundering, and stood directly in front of the SUV. The engine roared. Riek slammed the brakes inches from my knees. Turner rolled down the window. "Shh. You're impeding an official operation." "This is a joke," I said, refusing to move. "You're not official. Let her go." Neighbors froze. Someone whispered, "Call the real police." Dylan's live stream was already going viral. Turner twitched, hand hovering near the cheap pistol on his belt. Then the growl of engines. Not sirens. Government SUVs. Two black vehicles skidded to a stop behind me. Doors flung open. 4 agents in tactical vests emerged, weapons drawn but steady. At the front, Carla Jennings. Tall, silver-haired, authority radiating from her. "Federal agents," she barked. "Step out of the vehicle. Hands where we can see them." Riek froze. Dorner ran. Bad move. An agent tackled him before he made it past the neighbor's fence. Another ripped open the SUV. Marcy sat calmly in the back seat, zip-tied, but smiling when she saw Carla. "You're under arrest," Carla said coldly, "for impersonating an officer, kidnapping, and conspiracy." The men were cuffed and dragged out live. The stream exploded. "Shh," neighbors gasped. Agents searched the SUV and found a blinking device beneath the seat. "Possible tracker or IDs," someone shouted. Everyone backed away. Moments later, "It's a tracker, not a bomb." The message was clear. These weren't just scammers, they were part of something bigger. Marcy, hands freed, instantly switched into analyst mode. "Who sent you? Why this neighborhood?" Riek stammered. "It's just work. Someone hired us." It wouldn't meet her eyes. Carla pulled me aside. "Your wife's been tracking a group that impersonates local officials to infiltrate federal employees' homes. They install trackers, steal data, sell it on the dark web. We didn't expect them to escalate to daylight abductions." I was stunned, terrified, but proud. My wife, the neighborhood baker, was taking down a spy ring. That night, the real Boulder police arrived. The street was roped off. Neighbors whispered. News vans circled. Mrs. Benson said the same men hassled her last week over a non-compliant garden gnome. Another neighbor claimed they'd threatened her about her rose bushes. It all clicked. As the SUV was hauled off and the agents left, Marcy kissed my cheek and whispered, "I have to go with them. This isn't over." A week later, Carla returned sleek black sedan. She handed me an encrypted laptop. "If you want to see how it ends, log in at 18 o'clock. At 6 sharp, I open the feed. Warehouse in Omaha. Agents closing in, shouts, flashlights, metal clanging. Then Carla's voice calm and clear. Target secure. Stolen data recovered, no casualties. 2 days later, Marcy came home. No fanfare, no dramatic reunion. She just returned to the life she loved, pies in the oven, lawn neatly trimmed. But the neighborhood had changed. People waved now, checked in, watched out for one another. Dylan launched a local safety channel, teaching others how to spot scams and fake authority, and me. I sat on the porch one evening holding Marcy's hand, grateful that our quiet life had survived chaos. But now I ask you, what would you have done if 2 fake officers tried to take your spouse in broad daylight? Would you have stood your ground, or just called the cops and hoped for the best? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Want to hear your take, on justice, on vigilance, and the terrifying ways danger can hide in plain sight. As we dive into the psyche of our protagonist, ask yourself this. How often do we miss red flags when we fixate on routine? How does the pressure to maintain a sense of normalcy affect our perception of danger? Think about it. Sometimes the most perilous situations can seem deceptively mundane, especially when they occur within the comfort of our own neighborhoods. Our protagonist finds solace in the predictability of his daily life, until a stark disruption shatters the illusion of safety. His world turns upside down when authoritative figures appear at his doorstep, presenting a scenario that challenges his perception of reality. Their presence disrupts the tranquility of his life, forcing him to confront an unsettling possibility. Danger can lurk in the most unexpected places. This realization underscores a profound truth about our nature. Humans are inherently curious creatures, always seeking to understand and categorize the world around them. When faced with uncertainty, we naturally gravitate toward patterns and routines, finding comfort in the familiarity of the everyday. However, it's precisely this tendency that can lead us to overlook the warning signs of danger. By fixating on the mundane, we may inadvertently blind ourselves to the subtle cues that indicate trouble lies ahead. The question is, how can we strike a balance between embracing the beauty of the ordinary and remaining vigilant against the lurking perils that threaten to shatter it? Perhaps it's in the delicate balance between these two states of being that we discover the true essence of living a life that is both fulfilling and secure. I've always believed in the power of stories to connect us, to challenge us, and to inspire us to be better individuals. If you resonated with this narrative, if it stirred something within you, I invite you to share your thoughts. Your comments have the power to enrich these stories, making them more meaningful for everyone who encounters them. So don't hesitate. Share your perspective. Engage in thoughtful discussions. Together we can create a space where ideas come to life and where every voice is valued. Remember, it's through these connections that we truly make this experience a richer one. Thanks for watching. See you soon.